All right, we're back. Jesus. I can't believe
Take two.
I cannot. Yeah, take two. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody that wants to bust my balls here, we just got through 17 minutes of the podcast.
Hey, and you guys aren't going to get to see it, but I'm going to tell you what, it was damn good.
Yeah, it probably went
really
viral.
Good. Yeah.
And I didn't hit the damn record button. So, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, take two. We have Mr. Tyler Kratzenburg. Cheers, man. We didn't get cheers earlier.
Cheers.
Yes. So, hey, he is a local football coach that, we were talking about in the previous 17 minutes. He's a local football coach that had some struggles last year. There was an 0-8 record. He was not able to even complete some of the games due to some season-ending injuries. And so we're going to talk to him tonight about just kind of how he's going to bounce back and, how as a coach, how do you relate to kids and that type of thing. So, let's just welcome, by the way, again. Yes, it is awkward to have to start again.
Let me start this in a different direction, man.
Go ahead.
And then we'll work our way to that, man. Tyler, tell us what drove you into the coaching business.
I think the biggest thing, when, coming from a place where I did and playing for a coach that I did, had the most wins in our state and really still does. I mean, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I think that it was just something that I couldn't put down. I played at the college level. I was lucky to play 3 years at two different places. I got to learn and see what was outside Southeast Ohio in this area. Sure. I think, once I was done, I was confused. I mean, of course, you're 20s. You're kind of done doing your college stuff because it's time to be a big boy. But I was like, man, I can't let it go. I can't play.
Right.
And I volunteered in Kentucky because they had spring ball then when I was finishing up school. Ohio didn't have spring ball.
Right to the high school level.
Yeah, right to the high school level. And then I kind of volunteered some, and I was like, man, this is. Of course, we all know Prater. That's who my last 2 years of college I was coming to here at 5 a.m. and he was driving from Columbus at 3, and we were all training and stuff. So, like, he kind of got me started. I'll be honest. Like I said, I was coaching athletes in the summers when I was playing in college. So I was like,
okay.
As a player, can I relate what I know and how I played?
So you were over at AP Prep?
Yeah, but I was with him a lot. And like I said, you do the camps and things when you're older and in college, kids come. So you're just kind of like, man, that's kind of a hassle. You don't really like kids. But the opportunities I've had, I would be stealing it from young kids to not give back. But then to me, it's like it's been my career since. Like once I got in, I've jumped in head first. I think, and I moved all over the country to do this. And like I said, I've been lucky, like I said, to be able to support myself and, have great family support to do that. I don't know. I don't know somebody asked me the other day, so what would you do if you didn't coach? I just really don't. I mean, I've thought about it. I really don't know. I mean, just because the different demographics of kids I've been around from the inner city of, like I said, an African-American neighborhood of being the only, white coach in that area. And just, you see different demographics coming home. Like I said, I've been here, I've lived here and played, but you just see different people and meet different kids in their situations. Like how I adopted a kid for 6 months. He just went pro. Like, I got that text yesterday, actually. He was like, "What's up?" I figured he wanted, "Hey, how do I pay on my car insurance?" or something. I mean, because it's all about people in your relationships, and I feel like that is my biggest skill as a coach is my relationship skills with kids. Like I can't, we could everybody can X's and O's. You can clinic, you can talk it, but like and applying it, I think too. Like we've got kids in this area that they do the fair. Like we've got some guys on our team that a couple of them. One guy's name's Dirtbag. That's just what we call him. He works hard. He works it in the dirt. Chicken man. He shows chickens at the fair. I mean, but those kids relate to that stuff and they gravitate to like how you take interest in them, even if it's a joke or like they see that you take interest. Like I said, when you go to a place where a lot of people in this area is, I say worse, it's different from when I grew up. I had a 2-parent home.
Right.
So look at the statistics now in today's world. How many people have a 2-parent home? I mean, that's a whole different area. I mean, you're talking.
It's getting better. It seems. I think it's better for this generation than it was for ours.
Right. I just think, the instillment of discipline and accountability is something a lot of young people don't get presented to them, maybe by their household or, their surroundings. So I think, for me, I had that. I'm almost 31 years old. If I walked in the house and did something stupid, my dad's going to punch me in the mouth. I mean, that's I'm 31 years old. It's still going to happen. He's 72. I just think to be able to be that father, big brother, they know I'm going to hold them to a certain standard of what we expect and I expect, not just for football.
Right.
I mean, like I said, I got, help my kid that just went pro. He bought his first car from Chris Fairchild. I don't know how to buy a car, Coach. What do I do? I said, well, you got to come up here. I go see Fairchild. I mean, but it's just, relating with kids, and I'm young, and I think a lot of people will get that mixed up. I'm as hard-nosed as, I'm probably a little overbearing.
Well, I think most good coaches are, man. And I think you develop a rapport with the kids, and if they respect you, you should be hard on them.
For sure.
Man. You're teaching them something. And the other thing is, man, if you're not genuine, kids that age will
they'll sniff it.
They'll sniff that out quick, buddy.
I'm telling you, in different areas where, like I said, when you go into an inner city type of atmosphere, that's the only thing you got to respect. And those guys look at you, they'll sniff you out and spit you out faster than you can think. I mean, because a lot of people don't have father figures or brothers or things. Like I said, they're looking to say, is he full of BS?
Yeah.
And when I say something, do I mean it?
Right.
And as soon as you don't, they'll be all over you. And that's my thing. I learned from that demographic and area of Cincinnati, Kentucky area. Like, I love the inner city. I just love the way, because the loyal commitment. Like, they will give you like I said, you see all this stuff. Like, I've had kids that family members were in gangs. Like, they will put it on the line for you because the coach loves me. And that's the only thing that matters to me. And I said, I want to win games as bad as anybody. But like I said, you got to deal with things, outside of the game more than you do X's and O's and winning and losing.
Man, that's so true. So then, we talked, you wound up getting to Oak Hill and got kind of thrown in to a late start, man.
A little bit.
Your first year. You'll be getting ready to start your third season, correct?
Third season in under 36 months for sure. This is month 21. February will be month 21.
And you've already coached 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
So you basically got thrown into, that's probably the wrong term. You got the opportunity at a very late date to get started, which gave you very little time to, sweat to prepare.
For sure.
Do that kind of stuff, So, let's start there. You get hired. What's your first meeting look like with the players? Are they in school? Are they out of school?
No, we were out of school. That I had missed them by 5 days. I was moving back from Cincinnati. I told them, I said, I'll be there in 2 days.
Okay.
And they didn't say, hey, we'll be out of school, so don't worry. I had enough pull in the community that I knew that I was like, we got to have a meeting ASAP. And a lot of those kids that came didn't play for me. And a lot of those kids got ran out the door early because we worked. Yeah. And it wasn't a, who what it was a, who's going to come in and work, and this is going to be different. And like I said, no knock on anybody else, but like I said, I've been around and seen and done some things, and I'm always trying to get better. But like I said, there ain't no replacement for hard work. And that's
so like in your very first meeting, did you go in and set the tone?
We set the tone. We set the standards. I expected some kids to play for me that didn't end up playing, and the kids that'll be seniors for me now have been doing it since they were sophomores and had absolutely no business playing for me at that level. I mean, my quarterback, my receiver, my right tackle, all those guys got thrown to the wolves. I called them young pups. I said, I was expecting a senior to come back who was a good player. He really wasn't sure. I don't think it was more about me. It was more about, after a while, if you get beat down for a while, man, the way it was just kind of and he's a great kid, and I see him all the time. He just wasn't really, it wasn't his thing. So I wrote a sophomore, and I said, hey, buddy, I said, we're going to be married until,
Well, now, let's talk about that for a minute. How do you feel like, there's no choice, right? Mm-hmm. Ideally, I don't think anybody want to play freshmen and sophomores.
Absolutely.
Unless they're just phenomenal. And you'll have one of those. Yeah, you'll have one of those. But, you're in a situation where, hey, man, all hands on deck. If the dog's going to bite, he'll bite as a pup.
That's it.
Excuse me. So how do you think that positions you to have these guys coming in, 2 years playing experience, but where do you think their head's at, man?
I think the biggest thing with this group, got to see kind of, we won our very first game, and now we've lost our last, 17, I think. But again, like I said, my first year, we were either up, tied, or within a score at every halftime.
Well, and that's the kind of metrics you got to measure, man.
Right. And it was 17 kids going into our last game. He was 2 divisions bigger than us. It was 7-0. Ended up going to be 14 at the half. But it was, you had kids that just wouldn't quit. And then obviously the numbers and things play into it, of course, as it runs its course, it's going to kind of expire. But now these kids, like, in the season we just had this past year of the injuries, like I said, the unfortunate bad luck is what I call it. I mean, I don't know if I'm cursed or.
Well, let's go ahead and go through that. Where that would make a man scratch his head, wondering if somebody was out to get him. I mean,
no doubt about it.
So I mean, here you are in your second season, and okay, so that summer, let's start. I mean, you're probably at this point feeling like, hey, got some things going here. Going to be better.
Yep.
We got some good energy going.
Went from 17 to 31 kids.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Almost doubled.
Doubled the numbers.
Yep.
You were probably sitting there thinking, hey, man, I mean,
let's go.
Hey, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait till August.
Game one, you still got your blood's pumping.
Yeah. But then
I think we were excited. Our off season, we were extremely excited. We lost.
Did you have a good winter?
We had a very good winter. We lost some. Like I said, that senior class, we lost some studs, but we had more depth coming. So it was kind of an even trade. Like we had some guys that took over games in a sense on defensive end that could help us get stops. The one kid played a north-south game for us, but like it was, you lose dudes, but that's part of it. Like we had some guys coming. Then what happened was, like I said, our off season was, it was going great. Guys were doing what they're supposed to do, getting bigger. Then we had some unfortunate things. Like we had, a devastating car wreck with 2 players in it that was almost life-threatening. Those are things as a coach you don't prepare for, like that. You think about and see everywhere else. You just hope it never happens. That was something that was in. We had a coaches meeting that night. It happened. Got the call. Go straight to the hospital. They're life-flighted. Luckily, they were able to pull through. And like I said, they made it a second chance here.
Both starters.
Yeah, both starters. The number one, the one kid was our leading tackler on the team. Like I said, so he was unfortunately not physically able to play again.
And you said you had a 4-wheeler wreck and a swimming
ATV wreck. Had a swimming accident. So you're down before you get into the first scrimmage, which was you play. We had try scrimmages, 2 teams and us, which is very beneficial. We were a little handicapped, but we knew what we wanted to do. We were very confident, played extremely well in the first scrimmage, surprised myself. Didn't get anybody hurt that night, and I was kind of like, all right, we'll get in our second round here. Our second scrimmage had a lesser opponent and then a really solid playoff contender that it was going to be an even measuring stick for us. Had a phenomenal second scrimmage against both teams, went toe-to-toe with the playoff team. Almost overconfident. To an extent going to week 1, but we knew we were ready. But I didn't know how big of an impact our guys that were out made, like especially up front.
On the field.
Yes. Our best running back gets hurt in the first series.
And where were you from a depth perspective starting week 1?
We were down, I'll say the word 5.5 starters because I had 4 out, lost 1 in the first game, and the half was our center who had got hurt in practice that week. So he really wasn't
a starter,
ready.
But
he ended up not playing and then ended up coming back late in the year. But we got, like I said, we ended up as rostered with 31. So you doubled from 17.
Yeah.
You have, the multiple off season before you get into summer. And then you have those, then you have in-game injuries. So you have, I'm trying to think back of week 2, nobody got hurt, kind of banged up, but nothing bad. Week 3, we lost 5 to end the season.
Oh, my goodness, man.
So you're talking blown out knees. You're talking 2 blown out knees, a shoulder. Can't remember what the other 2 were.
We're not talking about sprained ankles.
No, we're not talking about wrist sprains or dislocated. We're talking about season-ending surgeries. A poor freshman. Hell, we had a poor freshman tore in labrum before the season. Tried to get him to have surgery before, and the way things are now, they want you to rehab and stuff. And mom and dad were like, "We'll just get a sling, let him play." And I'm we just plugged a poor freshman out there who was he had just got out of surgery. He just got out of his sling today. You're just plugging guys who are going to just try to do whatever they can for you. And it's almost like a sad story because you're just like, man, like you're doing a service to a freshman just to plug.
Let me ask you this though, man. I mean, when you're going through a situation like that, guys just dropping, you're having to put freshmen in there. You're having to put guys in that probably, if we're honest with ourselves, maybe weren't quite ready for varsity ball.
There's no doubt.
And I mean, but man, when you sit and look back at that, like you're telling me a guy that his parents just like, I get him a sling, man. He's going to go out there and try, You got to be kind of proud of those guys, man.
Those kids,
that takes a little bit of grit.
Well, and those kids, like I said, those are the kids that they talk about those relationships and things like they're trying to do everything they can for you. Like I said, they understood everything what happened with the games being canceled. And like I said, there's no doubt. And I know there's a lot of probably questions from people, but like people probably think I'll regret that. I'll tell you right now, I don't lose a ounce of sleep over that because we had administrative meetings and things, and there's some times that, I know what goes into games. I've been around a long time. Yeah. There's a gate when Wheelersburg comes to town. I know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I know.
Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you about one of our special friends and friend of the program, Geiger Brothers Construction. Man, those guys have been with us since the start. Scott Massey, even though we're kind of hard on you sometimes, we sure do appreciate your sponsorship. And guys, if you own a commercial business and you need some contracting, engineering work, anything done, give those guys a call. 740-286-0800. Geiger Brothers. Thanks.
I mean, there's things, but at the end of the day,
there's things more important than that.
There's absolutely right. When I took this job, my number one thing is the safety and the well-being of your child. And again, it's hard for seniors. It's hard for cheerleaders. I think everybody knows enough about me and the way I do things to where, like, the amount of things that we get and I spend money on and fundraise for, like, you would think that, we're Andy and these guys. Like, we eat like we're kings. Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't eat cheeseburgers. We eat.
Oh yeah,
we eat Ribber, we eat Rowdies, we eat. Coach Kratz eats like we're eating good. We get the sweetest gear.
Yeah,
I mean, because again, at the end of the day, like I remember, I still have my high school T-shirts. Like that was always something. Like traditionally, like if your dad coached or like your uncle played, your brother played, like those are things special now.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of how you build a tradition, right?
Most definitely.
And is stuff like that.
Absolutely right.
I mean, it's a little thing, but I think it's those little things become big.
For sure.
Things, so Coach, here you are with these guys, and you brought it up, like, you actually had to sit and make a decision that most coaches don't really have to make.
No, they don't.
I mean, where you're like, okay, do we play this game with, 14, 15
we had
guys?
14. The first time we had 14 healthy, eligible players. Out of those 14, 7 were freshmen. One was a senior, one was a junior who has some sickness issues and things, being healthy and recovering from his treatment. So, like, you're talking 14. Now, again...
Well, and then, not to say, I mean, there's 11 different positions on a field. I'm going to guess that 14 didn't just plug in neatly to...
Oh, no. There was... and I think the biggest thing is you got to look at, and the way I did it, and I'm going to be honest, I put my neck out there because what I felt was right is what I was going with. It had nothing to do with me making somebody mad about the league or our schedule and things. Like, it's when you have to do things that are right, people are going to be upset. But I'm also a guy who will more than happy take the heat. I got a telephone. You can call me. You ain't got to call Red Thompson at the Tribune and say, hey, like, we need an interview. No, you call me. You come see me at school. That's how I do business. We can hash it out. We can disagree. But my job is to take care of my players, their kids. And like I said, if senior stuff is tough. But at the end of the day, those are things that we had. So our senior class is a little bit different than most. When I got there, we only had 3. They were juniors, so there were 3 of them. We doubled. We picked up 3 kids that ain't played football in 5 years.
Yeah.
So these aren't football kids. Not that that makes it any different, but we had kids coming because of our relationships, the kids that were talking them in, the stuff we were doing in the weight room. Like, I had kids coming out. You know, our starting basketball team right now, except for our point guard, all started football.
Okay.
So we couldn't do anything basketball wise until football was over because all of our starters in basketball are playing football, and some of them haven't played. Mm-hmm. But they're like, hey, "Can I play receiver?" Yeah, you're 6'2". Come on.
Yeah. That's right.
And you got the one transfer I know. That's my buddy's boy.
Yep.
So from down here. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you had to just take that on the chin.
Yep.
How much of it did you have to take on the chin? Was there a lot of criticism?
I mean, we all know how social media is. I was aware. I knew I'm going to peak because I understand at the end of the day, nothing's going to deter me from what I feel is right. And I took heat from internal people.
Could you be a head football coach anywhere
and not
take criticism?
Yeah. Oh, this is the wrong business for you.
If you were doing anything right,
for sure. I think that part's easy. I think the hardest part's the parents' issues.
Well, and going back to your 20, you're 21 at this time. You're what 17 or you're what 17 months in roughly.
Yep,
okay?
right about.
So you didn't cause that problem. That might have been whenever it broke the skin.
Oh, for sure.
But to me, just hearing this whole story, this kind of sounds like I'm not pointing fingers, but it kind of sounds like it's not internal, or it could be internal, could be a community. Like there just doesn't like something must have fell off the map at some point.
I feel like all schools and coach, you disagree with me if I'm wrong. This is my perception. I feel like all smaller schools, especially around this area.
What size are you? D5?
We're D6.
D6. Very small.
They cycle. Until you can get something built with a lot of tradition, and I mean built from the floor, you're going to cycle. It's just, can we get through that cycle where maybe we've got a downturn in, I don't know, talent, or hey, we got no kids that are bigger than 5 foot tall, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I think a lot of that.
It's not like you've got this vast pool.
Oh, heavens no!
To choose from.
Look at Harbaugh here lately. Yeah. He took a horrible program.
Yeah.
Okay. Wins national championship, right?
Yeah.
So
and it took him. Some time.
Took him some time, and I think especially in the smaller schools. Now, you and I are fortunate with our hometown that we've had 4 head coaches. 4 in 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, now see, I'll tell you what. That's why I've never been an advocate for firing a head coach if you don't give them at least 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless they do something stupid.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you got to give a guy a chance, man. I see so many schools. And here I am just giving opinions again. Correct me.
I'm all ears.
I see so many schools that think that the solution is firing the coach, when really all you're doing is resetting something that's already not working.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why it is. Do you think it's more like superintendents just?
Well, I think we're appeasing the crowd, right? Everybody's out there with their torches and pitchforks, and they want somebody's head, because their kid's awesome.
No, I did not get that vibe from.
I
his
didn't
season.
either. I didn't either.
I didn't either. I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, I would have spoke up about it because it was your second year, dude.
Yep.
And you came into a program that had not, let's not point fingers. It hadn't been extremely successful.
Not in a long time.
And I would speculate that they weren't doing the right things.
There's some things.
That's what
I'm still catching up. I'll be honest. I'm still learning why.
Hey, dude, it takes.
Oh yeah,
it's going to take some time, man.
It wasn't the main thing that kind of happened with that. This podcast ain't an interview.
Yeah.
So, wasn't the main thing that happened? Didn't like they start like I was thinking like is it Hubert Davis or somebody that they said? Is
in West Virginia?
No, that started like a Pee-wee program or something down there. And I'm talking way out of turn. I do not know any of this, but like I felt like 10, 12 years ago or somewhere, somebody started a Pee-wee program down there. Might have been intramural, might have been flag. Okay, well then it went away. And now it's back. They have it now, I think, but you still don't have like a Pee-wee program, do you?
Well, so when I got there, they had the rec league, and I said it's kind of been new. We didn't have one for a while, so and that's why you see even girls basketball right now. So let's think about my school's girls basketball. Yeah, so let's think about that. How elite that program was.
State champions.
Yeah, so let's look at that, and now
runner-ups, I think.
Girls are runners up. Boys won at 09. But you got to think. I mean, you're talking elite.
Still, state runner-up is still pretty damn good. And now they don't score 10 points, do they?
No, like I said. But again, like I said, that good. We didn't have a rec for 2 years. So it was. So when the 2 years when I got there, it was they just finished the first full year of rec sports again.
Why didn't they have a
COVID? And I think that's.
Well, and they don't have a facility down there.
We use football. We use the old game field. So I'm not in charge, but I am as involved with the rec as anybody.
So you take an active role in that.
We had to we had two 5th and 6th grade teams this year.
Two 5th and 6th.
There
just
you
like
go,
us.
bud.
We had 40 kids, and I got 31, and I can't complete game. But again, that's just. But they haven't played. So before, they created a team. They were in some different leagues. I pulled us out of our league. We had to reset. We wanted to build. Because we only do 5th and 6th grade tackle. So first and second is flag. It's in-house, which is great.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th in-house, which is great.
Love it.
5th and 6th grade, we would like to, but I said we're getting there. So we went kind of on our own, independent. We played some good teams. We played some teams that we had to make sure we got a level 2 game and a level 1 game.
Right.
But like you said, I had to clear house. I had to get guys in. I had to have guys do the rec that couldn't come coach with me that I wanted to coach with me.
Yeah.
Because we had to do that.
Needed them at the rec.
And I had to do that. And it's been tough. It's better now. We got some more hands on deck now. But I just think at first, and May 28th, I'm not that I'm not thinking about the rec, but we play in 9 weeks. We play in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. And being in different places, and I'm just going to be flat honest. If our man over here, Coach Hall, doesn't win games, he get run out of town, isn't he?
Oh boy.
And I love the man to death. He's
he can lose about up to 2.
He's a huge mentor to me. I love him. He and I are so similar in banner and just being hard-headed.
He's a friend of the pod. He's been on.
He is. Like I said, I love him, but he'll probably text me here. But he is just, and he's a big reason why I've gotten opportunities to wear our places I have. I mean, because
but there's a bar here.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if he needs something, it's getting done, right?
Oh, hey, this is what I've always said. My father coached here for years, and one of his favorite sayings is, "Hey, man, Jackson will give you everything but an excuse."
For sure.
What do you need? Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, have they ever been told no?
I mean, not my. I mean, I don't know. That maybe.
I'm sure they probably have from the schools, but I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, that program, that sideliners thing started back.
Oh, it's huge.
And man,
well, and I mean, just like little stuff like the gear and stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, hell, I'm afraid we've done it so long now. Our kids just take it for granted, man.
Right. They do.
Right. Oh yeah.
Absolutely, they do.
Because you think about like back when you were playing, so we were just kind of starting to rebuild after our major downswing.
We had a downturn in the 80s.
And what we started doing, passing out sweatsuits, tracksuits.
Oh, same thing.
T-shirts.
We were decorated from head to toe all the time.
Yeah.
Rode Greyhound buses everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what you had just a total. I mean, I can remember whenever we first made the playoffs, they shut the town down, and we had this big parade around town. And I mean, not like it is now. Like, I'm talking, the streets were lined, the businesses all just Jackson. And it was a whole community buy-in. And I felt like down there, I'm not from there, but I'm pretty close to it. And I felt like they kind of lost that for a while, you know?
Yeah, they have. And I think, but when you get in this area of things like, you talk about development, let's talk about business, let's talk about how's an individual, just like in a podcast, how do you want to always make it better? You always want to see, hey, like, what can we do better? You're going on 4 years now. Right. So you're looking at things, and here I am. I've been all over the country coaching high school football, and I walk in and I'm like, wow, well, this is what we've been doing.
Have you ever seen, and if you don't want to answer this, don't, but in your travels, coaching other places, had you ever worked in or with a program that was in as a depleted state as the one you took over?
No,
I don't think
So
it
like,
existed.
and that's what I mean. So like, it's really, and like I was talking about with the injuries and things like, man, there's no playbook for this kind of stuff.
No.
I mean, not many people have that kind of experience.
Right.
And let me talk about this. This is a little bit more about Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not everybody takes that job, bud.
I was told not to take it.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. So what was that in your mind kind of a personal challenge? Like, well, by God, I'll go down there and rebuild.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing, some personal things of trying to get back home, being older. But because here, like you said, I mean, Oak Hill was elite. Like I grew up with the elite guys and players that was blue collar that were going to the regional finals.
Sure.
And that's a.
You Weston and him's age?
Huh?
Are you Weston?
Oh,
and
yeah.
him's-
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I mean, I would spend,
Jesse
people don't
and all them.
understand, like people, when I started driving and those guys started driving, I was up here on the week. I stayed on Antioch Road.
Oh my God! So you got family up there then?
No, well, the Sloan. I mean, I
Oh,
stayed
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but like I've been here, so I didn't play here, but like it was kind of a man, like
Familiar.
Yeah, it meant something to me. So I was like, man, like them guys, we played and competed and battled, like, and all those guys are calling me like, will you? Like they're like, it's bad, and I'm like, I didn't know how. I'll be honest, and I've told people I didn't know how bad it was.
Well, you probably weren't following them, man. I mean, you were busy.
I mean, I
You
knew.
were busy,
I mean, I knew, but I did. But you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, but the first thing is like you look at, well, we know who dominates in this area. There's three: Ironton, Berg, and Jackson. That's it. They all eat from separate plates. Everybody else, like you said, there's downturns. Okay, but then you coach in Kentucky. You don't have leagues. All right, so you have districts. So go back to before you let everybody and their brother in the state playoffs here in Ohio.
Yes.
You look at the old, it was 8 for the longest time, I think.
We started 4.
Four,
When we
yeah.
first made it, was 4. Man.
Last year for 4 was 1998, and then they went up to 8 until
because we went to the state finals as the 8 seed in 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
And we missed
we're
it.
Yes.
yeah, and
As the
now
fifth.
we're going to we got about 100 in there now. Or
Well, the COVID year, I remember.
Don't they
I
take
remember
16?
16 in each region, but in Division One, there's only 2 to 4 teams that don't get in the whole playoff system because there's 68. D1
I mean,
teams.
I just I hate to see teams that are like 1 and 9
going to this.
into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But then you talk about safety issues, like why are you playing that game? Because in COVID,
Because you're playing the number 1 seed,
right. In COVID, I remember they sat us up. I was in the Columbus area. We had a team. We had we ran through our league, and it was like everybody's going to make it. But if you don't want to play, you can play 3 scrimmage games.
Hey, guys, let's pay some bills here. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Kelly Wiley Group of Keller Williams Excel Realty. I tell you, we all know Kelly, and we all know the group down at Kelly Wiley Realty, and I'm telling you, you won't find a better class of people to deal with. A verifiable fact, something that I found very interesting. They are the number 1 real estate agency in Southern Ohio, and it doesn't shock me. I tell you, there's 180 different items that a home buyer and a home seller must do whenever you buy or sell a house. The Kelly Wiley team is great at all of them. They will help you out from start to finish. They have some of the most up-to-date processes and systems that you can possibly dream of. You're going to love the whole entire experience. So if I were you, I would give those guys a call at 740-577-3795. That's 740-577-3795. Or you can also look at all of their inventory at kellywileygroup.com.
I was kind of like, well, God forbid, we're going to play the Sisters of the Poor, Sisters of the Poor again. We're not going to play anybody. It's going to be 9 rounds of playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost our best guy, and that was kind of the end of the run for us, but it was like nobody knew because the next year they'd have planned on going to 12.
Yeah.
And once COVID happened, they were like, yeah, no thanks. We're going to eat. Like, we had everybody play. We need this money. We're going the hell with 12.
That's a money
We're going
grab.
to 16.
Oh, that's all
It's
it is.
unbelievable.
That's all that is.
But here's the deal. But you don't make money. Your
You
school,
don't.
The school does.
You don't.
No,
Yeah.
heavens
No,
no.
there's
the
one
state-
organization
Absolutely
that makes
not.
money. Yeah, one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is like, let's think about this. And I'm kind of petty. I'm a basketball coach. I'm a football coach. I go to other games, a scout or different things, which I just walk in and say that I'm scouting or whatever. But the state, as a head football coach, I don't have. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a card that says, hey, like I get it. Me and my wife or girlfriend or +1 stun, whatever. I got +1.
Yeah.
I am here all year long making you money, and you can't give me a damn card. They get me in all sporting events.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
The state finals, I still got to pay to go watch them.
That used to really chap me, man.
I'm not going to watch them. I'll watch them on TV.
Yeah.
I just what I figured out eventually is I just got to Canton. They got a couple beautiful bars up there.
Oh yeah,
and they're on TV, dude.
I know. Yep, I know.
So,
I don't understand. But going back to this, like you got to think the three teams we just talked about, like those are your elite.
Sure.
Okay, but the difference of we canceled 2 games. My thing is, are we competing? Are we participating for somebody else to make $1?
There you go.
So my business thought, just because that's the way I think, are my kids worth the money that school's going to make and me go play just so you can have a game? And then again, I called everybody and I said, hey, it's unfortunate. I got to do what's best for me. So that's and our guys, and I think that's what we have to stand on. And a lot of people don't.
Did you get and again, I keep having to say this, so I'm asking bad questions, but did you have a lot of pushback from the schools that you had to cancel with? I got to figure most football coaches, man, realize like, shit, man, if I was in that situation, I mean,
well, I think,
you love your kids,
right?
You're not going to go and put them in danger.
Right. There were some things, of course, like I said, you push back from and upset from other people. There was a homecoming in the first time, which was unfortunate. And there's things that we kind of talked about, but like I said, at the end of the day, like to me in my job, and like I said, whatever happened, I didn't know because I don't know other than maybe like I know Green years ago canceled Oak Hill and they've had to do some things, but like I said, to me, like when is the line getting drawn? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you did the perfect thing.
That's the thing too, and that's not me because again, like I said, hell, I've lost my last 17 games. That don't make a difference to me, which I'm. That's not the plan, but at first I'm worried about player safety and can my kids get through an offseason without being idiots and getting hurt? You know what I mean?
Were you, was there ever a time period during that? I'm just trying to go back, but was there ever a time period whenever you thought, man, hell with it, and just shut it down for the year?
I don't think, from my perspective, absolutely.
Not quit, but I'm saying, you know what, hey, we're at a position as a team, as a group, as a whole, that we are not sustainable throughout the rest of this season. We got freshmen that God love them, they want to do it, but that they're going to get hurt.
Well, the tough thing was we were 2-0 in JV to start the year. So, like, then you take away from – they haven't had a JV. They've had a game or two here and there in the last 5 years. So, like, I had a 4-game JV schedule, which people have 4 games. Like,
and see, that's huge because they get to stay together as a team.
Correct.
Yep.
Playing against,
Probably
some
my funnest
level
year.
talent. I mean, what a developmental year, man.
And even for coaches. I mean, my coaching staff is the youngest in the state of Ohio.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You might have coached the best JV team of all time.
I was never beaten as a JV kid.
Yeah. I mean, you had that one year, you had some absolute
Well, like we
savage.
got there in the late 90s, we just, all of our starters were seniors pretty much. Or
Yeah.
close to it. So
Yeah.
our JV guys
We're
man.
just
You
animals.
had a grown man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd go down, just walk all over guys.
Yeah.
Jackson, I mean,
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
But think about that. You had freshman teams then.
Yeah, we had
a freshmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So JV was almost, that's a grown man's game. If you got brought up as a freshman, that's what people don't understand. Like, I didn't dress as a freshman in Ironton. I was the ball boy up here. We played the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest thing ever. I just stayed out of the way, and they're like, I was like, hey, I don't want to dress because you're going to get yelled at because I'm out. I'm just a ball boy.
Yeah.
But that was like, you didn't dress. Like, if you dressed, that was an honor. Like,
that's what it was here. I mean, dressing as a
we
freshman
got to that last game.
Yeah.
yeah.
We did that.
Yes. Yeah. Or playoff time type deal. Yeah.
But, when you're sitting there talking about, having to cancel games and making the responsible decision as a coach, one thing I'd like for you to address or give you the opportunity to address or tell me to piss off, I think that too much is we're dwelling upon like, all right, man, the guys were hurt. They were this, they were that. There's probably other things at play that need to be studied. Like, hey, wait a minute, man. What is this with our schedule? Or who are we playing? Are we asking our kids to do something that we should not be? Is that a factor? I mean, like, I'm telling you what, man, I just know because we've done it here, or, there is a vast difference between like a D3 school and a D1 school. Mm-hmm. You know, and even down here in Southern Ohio, I call a lot of us, like Jackson, I feel is a very false Division 3.
I agree with that.
Because of all the bus students we have.
Right.
Hell, you're probably a false Division 6, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The schools in this area have so many kids that live so far away from the school that it's not even, you know. So I just think that that's something that really needs to be looked at is, you know, are we on a level field here? Yeah. I mean, we've had tremendous success in the Frontier Athletic Conference that we're in now. But the thing is, you know, a lot of people are like, man, football. We've had a good run in football. However, all those schools are almost identical in size and demographics. And so to me, it's like, well, shoot, man, this is actually a pretty good situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all get nostalgic for the old SCOL, but my gosh, you got to
go to Zanesville on a Tuesday night to play a basketball game as a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awful.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
So, but then you get into the dance, and you hit the same size school, but maybe an inner city league.
Well, that's what I think that you know, not to sit here and talk about Andy and Jackson, but what we've done a good job of is in our pre-league games, you know, your 4-5 games ramping up to that. I mean, we're scheduling.
Yeah. We're scheduling the best guys around that you can.
We're playing the best people we can play.
In those time frames, for sure.
And I think, now, so tell me that, man, like when we're talking about where you guys are, first of all, do you think it's a factor?
It's the factor.
Oh, okay. You'll go as far as saying it is the factor.
I mean, I come into a program, and there'll be things I leave out, but I come into a program, you know, to evaluate. I mean, I said at my interview, what's the deal with the league? I mean, and I'm basically being from here. I never played in the league. Well, I played in the SOEL as a freshman and sophomore.
Yeah.
But I was independent my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, we were playing. I mean, we're going to Hartley. We're going to Jonathan Alder.
Yep.
We're going Belfry, Kentucky.
Yeah, you guys used to load up, man.
About wherever you could find one, man.
And again,
hell, there isn't a handful of teams that play it.
Nah. And again, like it comes down to business. So at the end of the day, like, you know, are we doing what's best for our business?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect to win 10 games ever because I don't, like being on the field, I don't think kids mentally can hold that stability of the work. And I'm not saying everybody can't, but I mean, it's tough to do. I mean, it's tough back in the day because you play, you know.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, going 10-0, you know, that's a huge accomplishment, man.
For sure.
Huge. But I'll tell you what, man, it's almost better, in my opinion, to go into the playoffs with a loss.
Well, you got to be humbled. Again, at the end of the day, are you going to be 10-0 and get whacked in the first round? Or are you going to be 6-4 and go to the semifinals?
There you go.
And I tell kids all the time, I say, you tell me what I got to do to help us win. I don't care who scores.
So let's go back. Like, so when you're trying to rebuild, okay, you know, we're trying to, you know, big part of that, man, like the strongest muscle is right up here. You know, you got to get confidence. Is there anything to be said for, like, you know, I know you can't control the league, whatever that is, but like scheduling down in your non-league games, like I mean, shit, man, you got to find somebody else that haven't won any games.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you know, the league's so big though. I mean, you know, you're 7 locked in right now, but that's a whole, you know, that's a big, that's a big topic in the area right now. There's some business things that are going to happen soon, I guess. I don't know. But when I got there, like, that's the first thing I evaluated. Like, I came to build a program. So, like you said, you got to get somebody 5 years, 4 years, 3 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, give me the opportunity, wherever it is, 5 years. What do you need? We need this. Hey, we have this. This is coming the following year. Right. Okay, is this all you need? Yep, I got it. 5 years, we start producing. You know, hey, that's a return on your investment.
That has to be in the conversation because, you know, right now you're faced with, okay, you have to almost look way far ahead in order to get anybody fired up now after what just happened.
Right.
So there's nothing I doubt that you could say was, well, this year we're going to do this. Or
well, I mean, I always think that, man, you look at, like, you use every piece of it, man.
Yeah.
Like, everything matters.
This year, we're
this
chipping
is what
away.
happened. This is what happened this year, but by God, we made it through it.
Yeah.
You know, now this is what, you know.
Yeah.
And then you just take those steps, you know. And
what is your plan for that? I mean, you know, we need to cover that. I mean, you got 0-8. Where's your team at headspace wise? Where are you at headspace wise? Where's the community at headspace wise? What are you doing right now to flip the egg here?
Well, I think a couple things that we ended we were as healthy as we were all season in week 10. We played week 10, scored the third most points as a team in a game in the last 6 years.
Kids celebrated.
I mean, we got beat on a 45-yard field goal with 3 seconds.
Oh my God!
So we were down 16 in the fourth quarter with 7:13 on the clock. We come back, tie it. Opportunity, they kick field goal 45 yards.
I know as coaches you don't like to celebrate moral victories, but if that wasn't a victory.
Well, absolutely right. Well, it was crazy to me because you're like, man, you come back from 16 down, you play so hard. We were as healthy as we were all year. Everybody was ready, and you play and you lose, and it's like you thought we won. And me, I'm sitting there like, damn, we still lost, boys. We didn't win. We scored 35 and got beat by 3, but you're there like, man, we played so hard. We had some adversity hit because it's always going to hit, and you're going to bow down or not. We stepped up.
Cycled through the whole thing, man, in the last game.
We played well. Like I said, in our thing now, all those guys will be seniors. I played my first year as sophomores. Like I said, we've done a lot of good things. Our weight room.
How are they feeling?
Oh, I think they're excited. I mean, we got brand new helmets. New
look, or are we staying with the same?
It's definitely a new look.
You don't get those every year down there? I mean, what kind of look?
I bought a bunch this year.
I'm just joking.
I bought a bunch.
You go give us a preview? What color?
Yeah, I got pictures. We went white shell, black face mask,
Nice.
I think some people may end up killing me, but
they didn't like the white. They like the black, don't they?
And I'm a black guy. I'm the black guy. I love the all black, the white O. So when I got to that was the first thing I did. I said, we'd go back to the block, or the Oregon O. You have to go back to the O. The stickers have to come back that they had, on their runs. I said, what else did we do? Because those guys played that coach for me. They're like, this, and this. Black stripe defense has not been what we wanted, but we've kind of revamped the expectations of that. We changed the weight room program. I really dug in. Of this, I have a week, like I said, Heath gives me a week from football to basketball to kind of detox. If you're going to go football, go watch state finals, which I didn't have time. We had a basketball scrimmage. So I went all winter break and clinicked with we went to Scott County, Kentucky, went to Clinton, Massey, went to Marysville. I went to Gainesville, Georgia in the spring. I met with Josh Niblett, who used to coach at Hoover on the show two-a-days.
Yeah.
He took over for Rush Probst. He won. In his 14 years at Hoover, he was in the state semifinals 14 times. He got the Gainesville dominated. Went down. They had spring ball. He was like, hey, man, whatever you want. Just kind of saw how they did some things and stuff. But our weight room program has changed. We do it by quarter now. And we did a good thing, but we wanted to push – get our stuff down in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You got to get your job done. The fourth quarter is absolute hell. Today, kids are they're walking into a girls' basketball game, arms are just
hanging
dragging down. And they're like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Have you embraced, and I mean, I don't mean, I'm older than you. So, I mean, but have you been able to embrace that technology down there? As far as weight room coach?
Oh, we haven't. Absolutely.
Hey, guys, time to pay some bills. This show brought to you tonight by Brad and Sarah Munn, owners of your local McDonald's restaurants. Brad and Sarah have done a lot for our community, and McDonald's has done a lot for all of us. The statement, I'm loving it, we can all relate to that. We've been loving it for years, and we love what they do for our communities and our families. But let me talk about a big charity that they do, and that is the Ronald McDonald House. Man, anytime you get a chance to leave your change for that, it's a great thing. They allow parents of sick children to stay with their kids at the hospital for free. And that's just the kind of things that McDonald's does. Get out and support your McDonald's restaurant.
You have?
Oh, that's what we have.
Yeah, because, I will. The only Oak Hill kid that I know of that I saw down at AP was Adrian.
Yep. And then there's a couple sixth graders, but they got.
But hey, man, they're young and they're going.
For sure.
I mean, that's, to me, that was a good sign.
Well, and just guys like Adrian, like I said, behind the curve. He's not the fastest guy, like I said, the strongest, but his development from the first day I met him to now is like,
isn't it crazy?
It's just not even, and like I said, and then like his dad was like, he's a football kid. Like he loves it. He's the Bengals guy. Like he loves it. He's a great kid. I mean, that makes my life easier because I don't have to worry. Like I can put on the board. He's not going to get in trouble at school. Like he's okay. I mean, like it's just, he was going to play baseball. He just texted me. He's like, I was going to play baseball. And I was like, you ever played? He was like, nah. I was like, all right. Because I'm doing junior high baseball too. So I was like,
he said he was playing just because you were coaching.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, like these guys ain't never played, and I don't really have time to coach baseball. But our new baseball coach is my running backs coach. And I was like, man, I'll help you for a year. Like you guys.
I think that is cool how you guys down there, and not to get off topic, how you're all coaching all sports.
I've never. That's one thing I will say. I have been to multiple schools, and we all know this. Like and baseball's a weird dynamic with people. Basketball's a weird dynamic with people.
Yeah.
I coached. I just when I got here, I wanted to be the football coach.
Yeah.
I didn't want to coach basketball. I had to coach basketball. I don't want, that's not what I applied for, like I said. But, Heath and I had some mutual friends, and Heath and I are, that's my right-hand guy. I mean, all
McKinnis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got to watch that guy there.
Yeah. Listen, man, that guy's we've been through and through in the last 2 years. Like I said, he's been,
I just think that's cool. Like, he helps you, help him.
There's no
baseball
back and
coach
forth.
helps you,
Yeah.
you help him. Talk about being on the same page.
Well,
that's it.
Look at it. I'm not. Adrian's my buddy. Obviously, I'm talking about him. But to hear that the other day, I was just in shock because his dad. We're having dude conversations.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I was like, he's doing what?
Yeah.
And he goes, he's playing baseball this year. And I said, my exact words were, what in the hell is he playing baseball for? And he said, dude, he loves that coach. So I mean, to hear a kid and the dad that get behind that, you obviously are doing the right things, because for them to say that after the season you just had,
oh, for sure,
that speaks for itself,
right?
That's a really good thing.
That's the thing, man. It's obvious that the kids are bought in.
Yeah,
and if the kids are bought in, man, I mean,
then you're going to climb the mountain.
You just had the
they got to give him
the worst season of your life.
It's going to be the worst ever, because I don't know if you could ever, I don't know if there's any more of a bottom basement.
I don't think there is.
Don't say that out loud.
Well, yeah. But like I said, I tell people all the time, if you're looking for luck, you better get the hell away from there. Yeah. I mean, it ain't even close. But I mean, working with our coaches, man, I've not, the schools I've been, and I've worked with a lot of great people at different places, but that is how you rebuild places. That is how you rebuild programs. But at the end of the day, you can't do it handcuffed. You got to have buy-in. And I don't like using the word buy-in, because I think people sell out. They sell out for jobs. They sell out for money. They sell out for this or that. Being committed. I didn't play there. I'm not truly from there. But this is what I was hired to do. I decided to do this. So I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm a whole-ass guy. I drink Mountain Dew. I don't drink ski.
Yeah.
I'm not half-assing nothing.
Easy now.
Yeah.
Easy. We like that ski pop.
I just can't do it. I just guys working together, like our weight room schedule into basketball practice, and I go up after, and the junior high comes up right out. I mean, it's a revolving door.
And you guys understand down there, we were talking about size of schools and things like that. Sounds to me like the whole group down there understands, hey, look, man, we need our athletes playing every sport.
Most definitely.
I mean, we can't have a guy saying, "Oh no, man, I'm a solver."
Most definitely.
Between homeschools, Buckeye Hills, post-secondary, or whatever they call that now.
CCP, I think.
CCP, you've got a lot of things working against you.
Yep.
And COVID, that group, I mean, everybody, not just kids, but especially kids, they don't want to be out in the public.
A lot of them don't.
A lot of, it really taught kids, I'm cool at home.
It's cool. Different, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be so fun to watch you guys track. I mean, I'm excited now in hearing the inside version of it. I don't know what he is to me. He's going to be my future nephew, I guess, or in-law, Chase. Chase Burdine.
Oh, he's great, man.
I spend most Thanksgivings and Christmases and stuff with him, and we always chew the fat a little
Miranda's
bit. Yeah, he's with Carly, and I love listening to him. He's fired up. Dude.
He's been. He and I are very similar. Like I said, when I talk about our staff as the youngest in the state, it might be the youngest in the country in high school football. I'm 30. I'll be 31 in April.
McKinnis is the old man, isn't he?
Yeah, and I don't. Like I said, we don't. Like I said, with basketball and things, like Garrett will be running track in college. I don't know what we're going to do. Like I just left it up to him. Like Carson's still playing.
Does
like,
McKinnis coach football too?
He's my signal guy. He's like, Kratz, I don't know nothing. I'm like, I don't care.
Okay,
I got it.
yeah.
You got it.
Yeah,
Like you
just
got to
come
be
help,
here.
yeah.
So he's been a great. I mean, like I said, it was.
He's foxhole, dude.
He's great.
Yep.
Like I said, all those guys that played are 20s. Like I got 2 guys on my staff that are under the age of 24.
Wow.
But see, like back in the day, like when I started coaching, you had to be 21. And I don't know what
you know what though, dude? Those guys bring a lot of energy. To the table,
I mean, that's what they do. Like
you
we're
just
going to
got
clinic this week.
they sponge it up, man. You tell them what to do, and then they're all good.
We're clinicking this week. I'm leaving tomorrow. They're going up tomorrow afternoon. 2 of them to Indianapolis, paid for the room. I'm going up after the basketball game. I'm taking them to coach them because ain't nobody up there I really want to listen to because I already know what I'm going to do. Like those guys are developing, and what I've kind of the roles I've given them. I brought one guy up to do the D line, so I'm like, man, like this is what you're going to go listen to, but the rest of it's up to you, man. Like you do your thing, like having that young energy. And like I said, well, with our weight room, the way it's been the last couple of weeks, like we need a bigger weight room. I mean, it's huge. Like it's a big weight room, but like we are flooded.
Yeah,
awesome.
We counted today, like if everybody plays, and you'll have some guys, stragglers, like so 31, we'll have more than 31. We've got more than 31 in a weight room, plus the basketball kids that had a game last night.
And
See, you're trending way up, dude.
Oh yeah. But it's just one of those things. Like you
guys need to put a goal and say, let's get 40. Go get your buddies. Let's get 40 bodies.
I think
here.
we'll get there. Like I said, it's just the things that the kids are playing for us.
Getting the oil back on those gears, man. Getting them moving again.
It's been tough. It's been fun. It's I'm single. I have a lot of time. I'm a night owl, so like if you check huddle and film, like there's no way or time in the school building. Like I got more than everybody in the school district. Like I'm there all the time. I just feel like that's what, and I'm able to do that. I'm very lucky. Like that's what I was hired to do. So like and a lot of people were, and I mean I'm learning this quickly. A lot of people in this area don't like young, ambition, developed, but want to be better. I'm not trying to downgrade anybody, but like, do I think I'm better than some people? Yeah, because of my experiences in life. Not that I'm saying, hey, well, I'm better than you, but I have experienced more than Jackson or Lawrence County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I've been in 2 different states. I've been at Division I level twice, high school, 6A in Kentucky, which, you play Cuff Cath, Michael Mayer, who just got drafted, played Notre Dame. So talk about game planning for somebody. I don't. It was he played tight end. They ran the tight end split twins, so he was a tight end, and a guy named Cameron Butler, who went to Miami, Ohio, then transferred to Virginia, was all ACC. That was your tight end in your wing, and we're sitting up there like,
yeah, let's take that away.
How are we gonna do that? I mean, and you play Beechwood, won multiple state titles. You play Ryle, Louisville Trinity. My first year, I was like, whoa.
I think that would be. I speculate because I've not jumped around in the levels a lot. I think that could be difficult to get recalibrated sometimes, man.
It is. I didn't know, and everybody's different. Like I didn't know. I still don't. I do, but I don't. I didn't want to sit behind somebody for 8 or 9 or 10 years to get my chance.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm young. I can go. I can do this. I can do that. Like I wanted to go, and there's sometimes like I got jobs that I didn't want. Like when I went to Heath, I was like, hey, I want to do junior high. I'm going to go back to school, be a teacher, which I hate school. I didn't work like 2 semesters. And I was like, he goes, no. He's like, I coached against you 10 years ago. You're on the varsity. I'm like, damn. I just didn't know. You're being young, figuring it out. And I was like, man. And they were good. And we won the league. That's the first time we won the league. You played Newark Catholic, Johnstown Monroe, who got beat in the state finals the year before. We played Licking Valley, who got beat in the state finals that year.
Yeah, that's a tough league.
Oh, it's Granville.
Yeah. Yep,
that's a league game. Zanesville is a league game.
Oh yeah,
and it's that's kind of how you go back and forth. Like I know those guys, and Andy gets a hold of me during playoff time. But I mean, I've coached against some elite guys to where like I know people, and it's not I guess people would call it a big flex. Like I embrace that stuff. Like I'm like, I can't really. The game here in this area, and I'll be honest, is very slow to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's played differently.
It's played differently. It's slow to me because if you can stop probably one guy or just the run in general, you got a good shake. Because now, and I just throw it out like the area for the most part, just like you said. I mean, in 39 years, you guys have had 4 head coaches
since 1994.
Yeah.
So 30 years.
30
There's
years.
been 4 head coaches.
So think about all the local guys. Like I said, there's a lot of great guys that have gone from here across the road to down the road to this to that in this area. I'm not saying the word recycled, but just kind of, I don't know, revamped.
Always stayed in the system.
Same area.
New year, new me type person.
Right.
You know, and it's like, no.
The only thing that really changes are your colors.
Yeah.
And maybe your classification a little bit. Like, because how many leagues are in this area? 5.
Yeah.
You go SOC, OVC, TVC, SVC, and FAC.
Yeah.
So from, I would say, Miami Trace over Courthouse, Chillicothe down. There's only 5 all the way to the river. There's 5.
Yeah.
So everybody, like, it's a very tight circle. Mm-hmm. So when you get
and all
out of
play
there,
very similar football.
yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I just think that, that's and my thing is I'm always trying, like, and I aggravate Andy to death. I mean, he probably gets annoyed with me and all. Like, I'm just always trying to figure out something. In my experiences, I've come and people are like, what do you mean? Like, what's this? Like, scheme-wise? Like, why? I mean, like, this is not how you do that. Like, I've learned from other guys that, I mean, I was in a 3-back, turn around, hand it to your fullback 30 to 40 times a night. Then I go up and learn the spread and zone blocking, and I'm a gap guy. I mean, that's the biggest thing too. Like, is I think you got to know what you know, and you got to coach it well. Like I said, I'm going down. I'm putting myself with the offensive lineman this year. Being a head coach, you got to navigate. But I know the most about O-line and my scheme that I want to do. And like, so you can never not have enough O-line coaches. Never.
No.
And I would pay a stupid amount of money, and people think I'm crazy. I've offered people my whole stipend. Come coach for me. I don't give a damn. I'm being serious. I mean, there's a guy right now that I want so bad. But I don't have the control of a teaching job and all that stuff. Like, I will pay for my program, for my kids, for my coaches. Like, all my guys get taken care of. Like, whether it's on the books or out of my pocket. Like, everybody that coaches for me gets taken care of because you're making a commitment to be loyal to me. I'm gonna take care of you. So I think that's a big thing in relationships, like we talked about earlier. Like kids, coaches, doesn't matter. Like, I can call Andy at any time. Doesn't matter what time.
Yep.
He's gonna answer. I mean, it just things that you build throughout your lifetime. Of and Prater's the same way.
Oh yeah.
Prater's a little difficult now. He's a big CEO business guy.
Oh yeah,
he's a big legend.
Time.
Hey, he's got the
big time.
He's like, Grass Mountain, Texas, man. Call me. I'm like, all right. But now, like I said, we went to Archinetti's 2 weeks ago. Like I said, but start like even like that. Like, I'll be honest, and he laughs at this because I tell him all the time. If you'd have told me and showed me what he's doing now, I'd have said, you're a liar. He made a comment to me. He said, I don't ever want to be a CEO, Kratz. Never.
Yeah.
But again, like, he started like, we were in over here behind the bleachers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he started in a garage out, with Jalen and those guys, but they were here. Then he went to the Chillicothe truck. So I guess it's like the little station or whatever you want to call it. It was 1,000 square foot even.
Yeah.
And then he built that one over there by the old prison. So like I said, it's but again, I watched it because it was just the same mentality, and that's why he and I are just so the same way. Like, it's he's evolved. If that guy can evolve, like I said, it has a hard nose and hard, blue collar. Like,
he's a maniac.
He's fed up with getting better, and that's where he at the first he's like, I didn't know if it was gonna work because people of the same the narrow minded mindset is not him. And it was the dinosaurs is what we called them. The dinosaurs are going to get passed over, and they're going to hop on board. They're going to get out of the way.
I've never seen a guy that gets after it, and so's his whole team.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, that
he knows how to surround himself with people.
Oh, for sure.
Man,
great coaches and great leaders have great teams.
For sure.
And I would say a lot of the. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from our current group of coaches up here on the hill, but man. What those guys, what I've seen over those guys do in Chillicothe with our guys is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, shout out to like Nate O'Brien. He just lost his dad. But man, I've watched kids that go over there and they turn into men.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean that physicality wise. Like, you know, what those coaches get out of them is really something incredible. The offensive line, quick plug, but our offensive line this year, Jesus God.
How many you get on Twitter? I mean, look at the offers that are rolling in.
Yeah.
I pulled them all
No country
in.
for old men there, man.
Yeah.
I pulled them all in after their workout the other day, and I said, don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. I said, you are in control. Nobody is going to push you guys around at all.
No.
I said, but you have to determine that. You have to make up your mind. But I said, nobody should be touching you.
No.
I mean, that they are the most enormous group of men and fast.
It's odd. It's really odd. I bet Andy's just brokenhearted.
Whoever the lucky
Can I
individual
take mine back?
Yeah, boy. I'll
I
tell
got
you
a little
what.
brother. Little
Yeah.
brother's good. He's gonna be a
Man,
good
we
one.
sure
Your little
would-
brother?
No,
we sure would like to have him.
Yeah.
I'd like to take the older one back. But
Yeah,
no, like I said,
yeah.
he's a great
Alan.
kid. Yeah, they're great kids.
Oh, the Alec.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
really
yeah.
good kids.
Great
Oh,
kids.
yeah. They're O'Kill guys. Yeah. That's what I was like, what are you talking about?
What are you
Huh?
talking
It took
about?
me a minute too. I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
figure. I was like,
yeah.
wait a minute. What's he?
Well, like I said, and it was a missed. You know, if I got hired when I was supposed to get hired,
Sure, it
I don't
may
know
not
if it
happen. You don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
yeah.
But that's what, whenever your community and they don't rally behind you, and you know, at the end of the day, this Jackson community always rallies behind that program
for sure, absolutely,
And I,
Well, and Oak Hill has done it before.
absolutely they have. Yep.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I'm sure one of your favorite
Yep.
coaches ever. I mean, he started his career at Oak Hill, and that's
Oh,
Bob
yeah.
Lutz.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where he was. My dad had his first job down there.
there
man.
was a
They were-
time whenever they had as much pride as we did.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, and they're not far away from it. I guarantee you that community will come around.
and it's a football town. It
Yeah,
really
that's-
is.
that's
At
what
the
I'm
end of the day,
I think you think so. I think at the end of the day,
Basketball
I coached-
took it
I
for a
coach
little bit,
basketball
but,
too.
yeah.
Trust me, we're a football town.
Yeah.
But they they live for basketball.
Girls basketball for sure.
Yeah,
there
well, I mean,
was no doubt.
when you know they'll go basketball, you know, when they went like that. But I'll tell you what, you get that football team going.
But think about like the older generation of coaches, like, and I've got a list at home, like, you know, you said your dad was there at time. You know, you get Bart. Where's Bart at?
Oh,
Bart's
he's
still
chilling
coaching.
coffee.
You know,
Yeah.
you got Phillips.
Yeah,
he's
Greg.
DC at Vinton County. I mean, you had Dugan, who's still at school. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, I got guys like.
Can you get
that.
him activated? Chubby's, hey, you know, we all know this guy. All the folks over at AP Prep, we cannot thank you enough. Look those guys up at apprep.info. We get asked all the time, hey, what happens? How do you get over there? Hey, that's how you do it. You get on apprep.info, you look them up, you set a time for your kid's assessment. They schedule a time, you bring your kid over there, boom, it's done. They get you right in the schedule. And hey, for all you adults, you just show up on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday night at 5:30, and they got their boxing classes. It's $10, or you can join by the month. So look them up at apprep.info.
He's my tech guy. He's my
Whatever he's doing, he's good at.
Oh, dude's just the man. I mean, he is. The stuff that we've done, I always tell people, I'm like, everything that I say Dugan is involved in, he does 97% of it. I got 3 because I've texted him 3 times about it. That's it.
Yeah. There you go.
The rest of it is on Dugan because, like I said, and I tried, like I said, but again, I get it. Like I said, but my biggest thing when I got there, I was like, I got to get the guys that were successful on board with me. I first person I called, called Sloan. I said, hey, I'm coming to the house. We got to get this figured out. Who's on the staff, who's not, who I got rid of. Like, Dugan's sitting right across from me. It's just us 3. So I call Phillips. That's the next guy gets called. I mean, I'm an idiot not to call the the head coaches that have been there in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I have. They're not working. They're not coaching. I have to do that.
You couldn't get Leighton fired up?
Leighton.
Leighton,
He has no interest.
I tell you, man, that guy was he was
my coach.
That's a happy ritired man.
Oh, let me tell you something. That man had it down to the day.
Yeah, he had down the hour.
He is a great guy. And like I said, I'm super thankful that those guys gave me.
That time has passed him. I think.
And that's a lot of it too. Like, I don't know how people make it in education for 35 years, or hell, it's going to be 50 before too long. Because I just don't, like, when I remember back in the day, like when everybody started, like, you're 21, 22, get out of college, you get into coaching, or you're teaching because you want to be a coach. Back in the day,
Back in the day,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so then it's like, hey, you get your 30, you're retired, and then that's really about the end of them. Like, again, some guys will go now the old rehire.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Clinton
double
Massey.
dip.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about that. Like, you're double dipping, but that Clinton Massey, like, I just got told the other day by their baseball coach I'm friends with, like, they're on financial watch. So they had their head coach who's won, I met with him over spring or Christmas break.
Two state championships.
Yeah, he's a retiree hire.
Yeah.
2 weeks after I met with him, they're like, "Yeah, buddy, you can't teach her no more. Like, we can't afford you." He goes, "Well, I coach football then. Figure it out." And I'm like, and again, if you don't figure that guy out, go back to the support and things like. If you don't figure that out, and you're going to let him walk, well, hey, you probably need kicked in the nuts.
Yeah. My guess is they'll probably figure it out.
But I think support thing for us, like I know that there's a lot of support behind me in the community. Like I said, and there's just people are hungry. They want to be successful. Like I'll do whatever I got to do. Like there's some things that are going to be in place soon, or at least discussed. But I'll be honest, like I said, before I got there were some things that should have been done that didn't get done. And that's just facts. That's business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Schools
are a business.
Well, they should be. Mm-hmm. They're not always. Yeah, they should be. They should be ran like it.
Yeah. And it's hard in those rural, like really small schools like that. I mean, my God, everybody's related.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, man, I can't wait to watch you guys now, hearing your plan and this kind of stuff.
And your excitement still.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're like, you're Chase. I mean, like, we went all over Christmas break. I mean, he's, I've done the best I can with the staff in this area, just to do what we are going to be able to do. I'm digging in.
You're teaching a lot, man. I mean, you got a young staff. You're teaching.
And that was the hard thing, coaching coaches and teaching kids. And I'll be honest, I kind of got humbled these 2 years of what I've done traditionally offensively. Some of it works, some of it doesn't work. But again, at the end of the day, it goes back to
you evolve.
Who you playing? I'm digging into the old school. I'm going, as Dugan would say, we're digging up a dinosaur, no kill.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. That's. I mean, I always think of it like this, man. Woody Hayes said it the best. You win with people,
for sure.
And it sounds to me like Oak Hill's got some damn good people down there.
Sounds really good, man.
Yeah. They're as loyal as a day is long. Like so, the guys I got in my corner for me are. I mean,
and you yourself, sir.
Well, I appreciate that.
So you got to make us a promise right now that whatever after this year, you're going to change it. Or you're going to start building.
Yep.
We're not going to say change. We're going to say we're going to start building. Then I want to have you on at the end of next season, and let's just see where it ended up.
So, for sure. Like I said, it's and rebuilds take time. Like I said, you got to give the opportunity to do that. I mean, like I said, I think that that's why I joke with our guys. I said, I'd like to coach football at some point, guys.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be fun.
And guys are like, my first year I did both. I did the offense and the defense, which you can't do that. And I'm getting to Wednesday, and I'm like, hey, here's our offensive plan. And they're like, you haven't got to that yet? I said, that's not how I watch film.
Yeah.
And I told Anna, I was like, dude, I can't do both sides. Well, he goes, you're an idiot. I'm like, but I got to coach guys up. So, like I said, we're there now. Like I said, I'm confident now. I just think that it's been fun. And you don't know what you don't know. And everybody says, I was getting all these interviews for years and years like, well, you don't have head coaching experience. That's why I'm here. Like, I know that. Where would you like me to go get that? Where would you like me to purchase that? I know that, but I'm ready to take it on. Well, I can tell you in 2 years, I'm set.
Yeah, you got good.
Yeah, buddy.
I've gotten
threw you overboard in the storm.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you. People are like, you got to have experience. I got it.
Yeah,
trust me.
You guys have wrestling down there?
We're in the works.
I learned this. I've been around sports all my life, but I learned that this year watching my son and his wrestling team. It's crazy how this just jumped out at me this year.
He's younger, isn't he?
He's 10.
Yeah.
The learning in the losing is just so valuable.
It's you and him. That's it. There's nobody else to point a finger at.
Nowhere to hide.
Well, and I don't mean that just on wrestling, but that wrestling opened my eyes to that. Like, man, the kids got humbled. They got hungrier.
Mm-hmm.
They got because I was I don't know if I was just used to seeing kids that never lost that much.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a choice when you're on a wrestling mat, dude.
There's a lot more losing that goes on a wrestling match because, you might be the best around, but hey, every now and then somebody's
no finger to point.
Yeah.
And, somebody always is a little better.
You have to be a tech. I mean, your best guy, other than being strong, like if you find a technician type kid that is not an athlete and he's a technician,
and he'll doctor you to death.
He'll work you.
Yeah. And it just showed me. I was like, wow, man, these kids, they learn so much from not even losing the match, just the loss, and just to everything that it taught them about just sports and life. And I was like, man, like you said, hey, your resume's full, absolutely, because you learned from the absolute two. You really, I don't know in the county that there's ever been a worse season than 0-8.
You can't. I don't think you could have made it up and said, "Let's make this the worst case."
I'm sure there has been at some point,
but you have persevered through that, and so I would rather have that.
Well,
guy.
you're still sitting here smiling, talking about your plan and all that, man.
You're still fired up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not. I'm too dumb to be afraid.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm fired up too.
I'm fired up too now for you. Yeah.
Those sharp ass shirts.
Well, you take care of it. I know a guy who can get them.
Will you come back and see us?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming in, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
No, absolutely.
All right, man. Tyler Kratzenburg, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hey, everybody. Hey, next year when the football season starts, look up Oak Hill High School, Oak Hill, Ohio.
Send them a donation. Yeah, let's get them off the ground.
Yeah, let's get these Oak Hill Oaks going.
Yeah,
Coach Kratz.
They got a good man down there. Help them out. So see you, folks.
Take care.
See you.